The story begins in a house amidst dangerous forests where we are introduced to three friends who have come here to spend their vacations. Two friends were talking to each other by the riverside, while their friend Jessica was lying inside the house. But when one of her friends comes to her with a book to read, suddenly something happened to Jessica. She started speaking in a strange voice, reciting what was written in the book without even looking at it. She started feeling nauseous and eventually fainted, losing consciousness. But suddenly she grabbed her friend's throat and pulled out her hair, and then she jumped into the water by herself. When her other friend went to save her in the water, Jessica separated his head from his body. She emerged from the water and started flying, where we see the title of this movie, Evil Dead Rise. To find out how all this happened, we will have to go back one day in this story. In an old building, we see women named Ellie living with his three children, where her sister came to meet them today. Ellie's sister's name is Beth, and as soon as she arrives, she starts giving gifts to everyone that she brought along. But when she takes out a gift for her husband, the atmosphere suddenly changes. Silence fills the air. After that, Ellie sends her three children in the car to buy pizza so that she can have a conversation with Beth alone. Ellie tells Beth that her husband left her, to which Beth questions why Ellie didn't inform her earlier. Ellie responds that she called her, but Beth didn't answer. Suddenly, an earthquake occurs, trapping Ellie's three children in the car parked underground. They manage to escape safely from the earthquake's impact. After the earthquake subsides, Ellie's eldest son, Danny, notices a large tunnel nearby. He enters the tunnel to see what is inside and where it leads to. Danny sees several crosses inside, indicating that some evil force has been invoked here. He finds some books and a CD along with them. There are some photographs of fathers. Danny sees a grave with a hole in it. He discovers a book wrapped in a piece of cloth inside the grave. Up there we see that Elle is trying to contact her children, but due to the earthquake, there is no network available. Ellie asks the boy from the neighborhood to borrow his car to find out about her children, but as soon as he brings the key from inside, Ellie's children arrive upstairs. She hugs them. As soon as they enter, Danny immediately starts inspecting the book and CD. He was trying to open the book, but it wasn't opening. But as he was attempting to open it, he accidentally injured his finger, and as a drop of blood fell on the book, it opened. In the book, there were strange and eerie illustrations, indicating that these images were related to some evil entity. Danny starts playing the CD, and they hear a father speaking. The father talks about unleashing an evil power and begins reciting a mantra. Danny tries to stop the CD player to prevent the recitation, but it doesn't turn off. And due to the recitation of the mantra, an evil force is unleashed, directly entering Ellie through the elevator. It breaks Ellie's bones in a brutal manner, causing her immense harm. Danny is unable to stop the CD player, and the pages of the book start changing on their own. The power in the house goes out. Ellie's eldest daughter checks the lights and finds that there is light outside. The darkness is only within their own house. After a while, Ellie arrives there, appearing completely normal despite the fact that her bones were broken by the evil entity just a short while ago. She enters the kitchen and starts cooking in a strange manner, but as soon as her sister Beth arrives and calls her, Ellie begins to vomit. She appears to be in a critical condition and says that, "It is inside me. Save my children from it." After uttering these words, she loses consciousness. Her sister and children start carrying her and rush towards the hospital. However, due to the damage caused by the earthquake, the elevator is not working, and the stairs have also collapsed. So they took her to her room, and the neighbor's boy arrived there as well. He tries to close Ellie's eyes with his hands, but her eyes open on their own. They all gather around Ellie and begin praying for her well-being. Beth sits beside her sister, but then Ellie's phone rings, and it suddenly stops working. Ellie wakes up and sits upright. Her entire body was on fire, and in order to lower the temperature, they immerse her in the bathtub. However, Ellie clings to the wall. She screams, causing everyone to pass out one by one. Ellie starts attacking them one by one. She was about to kill her eldest daughter, but her son intervened and hit her instead. Their neighbor, who was watching from outside, witnessed this, and Ellie jumped on him as well. She gouged out her eyes and threw them into the mouth of another neighbor. Taking advantage of the situation, Beth closed the door. She peered through the hole to see Ellie killing everyone present in the building. Inside, Ellie's eldest daughter realized that all of this was Danny's fault. It was because of him that this evil force had been unleashed. They all started fighting among themselves. Ellie's youngest daughter was being manipulated by Ellie near the door with the intention of getting her to open it. Beth moves her away from the door. After that, we see that something starts happening to Ellie's eldest daughter. Blood starts flowing from her nose, and when Beth approaches her, she sees that she is eating glass in the kitchen. She too is now under the control of that evil entity. She attacks Beth, but when she tries to harm her younger sister, doll in her hand passes through her mouth. Danny tells Beth everything about how all of this is happening because of him. Beth starts listening to the CD brought by Danny to understand more about these events. Actually, the book was with a father who wanted to investigate it thoroughly. However, his church didn't allow him to do so. It was a book of dark powers, made from human skin, and everything inside it was written in blood. In the CD, the father reveals in the end that no one can escape from this evil power in any way. As soon as she hears this, Ellie enters the room through the ACK vent. Beth attacks Elle, but on the other side, Elle's eldest daughter sets her own brother, Danny, on fire. Now, only Beth and Ellie's youngest daughter are left. Beth was about to kill Ellie when Ellie's youngest daughter throws a pair of scissors at Beth, hitting Ellie in the mouth and stopping her. Beth took advantage of Ellie's momentary pause, and both Beth and Ellie's youngest daughter managed to escape. But Ellie returns. With the gun in her hand, Beth shoots Ellie's leg. Ellie sits on the ground, trying to manipulate her daughter with her words, but her daughter clearly states that she is not her mother. All the people on the ground start coming back to life, and they begin to shout loudly, saying that no one will survive from here. Beth and the girl have no way to escape except to run. However, their lift is broken and the door is jammed because a key got stuck in it, which fell from Ellie in the starting. They somehow manage to operate the lift, but as they enter, blood starts filling the lift. The pages of the book start flipping on their own, and a creature from the book emerges. The lift descends with blood-filled surroundings. Beth and the little girl run towards their car, hoping to escape. However, as they get into the car, Ellie appears in front of them. Ellie attacks her own daughter, but Beth defends her by attacking Ellie with a chainsaw. They manages to defeat Ellie and pushes the creature into a grinding machine, completely destroying it, after which both Beth and the little girl are able to escape from there. But then a girl comes from the lift, whose name was Jessica. Seeing blood all around, before she could understand anything, the evil entity took control of Jessica. Now perhaps you have come to know why Jessica killed her friends at the beginning of the story. It is because she was possessed by a powerful entity whose end is unknown. But this is where the story ends.